was born on a dirt road. I learned to run through the tobacco fields of my grandfather's farm. Church, family, food, and fun, in that order, were my priorities. I believe that my hunger to be the first one through came on that dirt road. I was energetic, I was adventurous, and my mom working 2 jobs and my stepfather stepping in gave me an open door to pursuing my dreams. As a child of the civil rights movement, I was born in the late 60s in the South. There were 3 things that I had to push down, that I had to navigate in order to be successful. It was being Black, it was being a female, and it was being an athlete. These are things that I had to neutralize. I can hear your thoughts. I can hear you saying, what does that have to do with anything? My reality, then and now, is everything. In elementary school, I really believed that I had a special gift. I thought no one else knew that I believed that there was no limit as to how fast I could run. I had no idea what I would do with this gift, but at the end of every elementary school field day, I would come home with a chest full of blue ribbons. Who knew that the beginnings of my Olympic pursuit had begun? In middle school, there was a street that ran right down my road. And it was everyday practice for bets to be placed and ice cream money to be lost on my races. The boys would line up, and before you knew it, the secret was out and they were getting beat down. There was a middle school teacher that walked up to me in the hallway and said, if you get A's and B's, you could go to college. No one had ever spoken to me about college. And so I thought about it. College. The next time I saw them, I said, I want to go to college. My guiding light became going to college. If I get good grades, A's and B's, and I run fast, I could go to college. The pursuit had begun. As a rural high school athlete, I was not prepared to go to college. In fact, the first time I saw the SAT was when I sat down to take it. Nevertheless, there were opportunities that were opening for me. Title IX had passed 3 years after I was born, and so that gave me a shot. And then Proposition 48 was passed that allowed students like me with low SAT scores but high GPAs a chance to get specially admitted to universities. And so my pursuit, my passion to go to college, it came. It was challenging at times and demoralizing to be specially admitted, but I grabbed every opportunity to pursue my dream to go to college. And in 1987, I was given a full scholarship to the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, to go to college. Now, in 1984, it was the Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. Man, was it hot. And I sat in front of that television for 2 weeks in our little 2-bedroom trailer, and I watched. And for the first time, my first time watching the Olympics, and then my first time seeing myself in the body of Jackie Joyner-Kersee. Jackie would become my friend, my mentor, my competitor, my teammate, an Olympic and world record holder. You see, Jackie, she connected me to my destiny. And I wasn't sure what was going to happen after college, but now the pursuit of the dream had been named. I wanted to become an Olympian. So the dream culminated at the 2000 Olympic trials. But I should tell you that at this point, I had been a professional athlete for 10 years. In 1992, I had made the Olympic team in the long jump. My first time, I was 6th. It was great. 96 was different. I was in the top 10 in the world in the long jump, and I missed it by 3 centimeters. I was devastated. I didn't leave home for 2 weeks. I was inconsolable. And so I decided to get up and get on the next team. So in 1997, I made the World Championship teams for Athens, Greece. In the warm-ups, I had a problem with my knee. So a year later, they decided to do knee surgery. And all of a sudden, my plans had been altered, not abandoned. So after knee surgery, they said, okay, you'll have to stop long jumping and take a year off. So I switched back to my next favorite event, and that was the 100-meter hurdles. Switching back and forth, I'd like to share with you, is not normal. Olympians do not do one event and then come back 8 years later and do another. It is kind of like asking a sumo wrestler to then take up skiing. And so even though I was an early Olympian in terms of switching events, I was able to make that feat happen. However, the switch, the change, threatened my mental and physical capabilities in terms of furthering my pursuit of my dream. In 1999, I received my first top 10 world ranking in the hurdles, and I was in hot pursuit. I went to the 2000 Olympic trials, but I had another problem. There was a pain. Well, let me explain. Olympians, it takes more than just them to get on the podium. My observation is that it takes about 100 folks to go alongside and get an Olympian on the podium. My 100 kicked in at the 2000 Olympic trials in Sacramento, California. 2 weeks before the trials, I started having a stabbing pain in my stomach. I had an injury called osteitis pubis. It is when you have a strength imbalance and your pelvic bone is trying to separate from each other. It was so painful that with every hurdle clearance, I felt like I was being cut in two. I wasn't sure what to do. I know that I did not want to go to Sacramento because going to Sacramento, it meant that I had to be perfect, and I wasn't perfect. So my 100, it kicked in. My coach arrived in Sacramento. He designed a doctor to come and help me with my pain. I had physical therapists, I had massage therapists, I had a yoga restorative for my stress. But the most important person he lined up, a person that I was a little nervous, trying to avoid, was my mental coach, my sports psychologist, Gloria. Why? Well, Gloria, she knew me. She knew my superwoman tendency. She knew my perfectionist problems. And she knew my deepest fear. She said to me, Sharon, you have to take advantage of this opportunity that lay before you right now. And you have to be willing to let go of what happened in Atlanta. The intervention that ensued in the next couple days reminds me of this quote. Alexander Graham Bell said it. He said, when one door closes, another opens. However, we often look at the door that is closed long and regretfully, and we do not notice, we do not see when the door opens for us. Well, Gloria opened that door for me. She sat down with me and she said, Sharon, you always think you have to be perfect. Were you perfect the last time you had a personal record? I said, no. She said, when you have a goal, you tend to be like a bull. You go right at it. What if you went through or around or over? She said, who would you rather compete against? Would you rather compete against someone that haven't had any problems, or would you rather compete against you? I knew that answer like I know my name. I said, I'll take her because I'm tough to beat. And as I walked out to the track for my first trial, I walked out there with 9 injections, 23,000 people in the stands, 114 degrees on the track, millions and millions of people watching, my family watching from the dirt road at home. And my 100 had done all that they could do for me. And it was up to me to find a way. And so as I lined up for the trial, I went out and I made it through the first one. I had to be carried back to the stands. I went to the semifinals. I was in the center of the track. I finished second in my heat, and then all of a sudden, here we go. It's the finals. Well, yeah, I wasn't smiling because I got placed in lane 1. And lane 1, for those of you who run track, you know what I mean. But nothing was going to stop me from walking through this door. So the gun goes off. As it is going off, I'm saying to myself, I'd rather be me, I'd rather be me. I dive across the line. And as I do, I look and I wait for my name to come down. And as it does, the dream is captured. And I'm walking, I don't even know where I'm going, I'm crying. And I go to the media tent. And the media guy, he walks up and he says, how do you feel? And with tears streaming down my face, I said, I faced my fear of failure. I am so proud of my commitment and my sticking to my pursuit. I am proud no matter the outcome, and I'm proud of my recommitment after my failure in '96. It was worth it. You see, the process revealed my character. It allowed me to become the best person that I could be in order to pursue the gifts that I got of my family and my legacy. Every February, I get this strange, wonderful feeling when I look down at my Twitter feed and I see this. In 2016, I was named an African American trailblazer for UNC. It is an award given to folks that have gone out in the world and made a significant difference. I tell you this because I had issues with my identity, being a Black female athlete, and no longer, as I captured my dream, did I struggle. Not only did I make history, but I am Black history. As a believer, I want to leave an inheritance for my children's children. I want to leave a legacy of blazing trails and leaving trails that are the experiences of my life. My next pursuit is completion of a PhD. My life's verse lines up perfectly to this opportunity. To much that's been given, much will be required. And I've been given so much. So what I'll share with you is a gift from me, and it's the 3 C's, and they have been a part of my life since at every stage. Number 1, you have to be competent. There is no replacing what it means to practice, to have trials and failures that lead you to mastery. Then you will get confidence. After your confidence, you will be able to compete. And I challenge you that no matter your race, your gender, your sexual orientation, your family of origin, I invite you to believe in yourself. I invite you to look in the mirror and say, I am tough to beat. I invite you to pursue your dreams. And I invite you to commit to the 3 C's. And when you do, you will become the first one through for you and those that follow you. And the legacy that you leave will possibly change the trajectory of a little girl or a little boy's life. So I invite you to be the first one through. Thank you.